welcome to the MicroAdvice CX series on product showcases. These brief product demonstrations highlight companies that are building customer-first solutions in their products right from the start. Now, before we get started, please subscribe to the MicroAdvice CX podcast for leading practices on delivering a superior customer experience. Today, we're here with Leia Ruseva, co-founder of EllisX. Leia, it's so nice to speak with you today.
Thank you for having me on, Jim.
EllisX is building the first authentic marketing platform to help companies increase brand awareness without hassle. For startups, enterprises, and content producers out there, EllisX helps you to execute on your vision while providing you with a curated listing of podcasts, speaking events, and other social platforms that help you share your message and insight. Before we get started with the demo, though, I want to explore a little bit about the origins of this company. So, Leia, why did you start EllisX?
Yeah, so my co-founder and I had both experienced the problem that we're now solving. So in a nutshell, we created the solution that we needed years ago. In his case, he's from Ghana, and when he was still in college, he started a couple of startups in the media, ad tech, and HR spaces. And coming from a product and software engineering, very technical background, his first thought was, let's build the product. And he would get some early adopters, but then would hit a wall and not be able to scale beyond a certain point because he did not have the money to pay for paid advertising, and also did not have access to relevant media, people who already had the audience that would give him airtime. So ultimately, distribution strategy suffered for all the startups, and they ended up dying. On my end, I worked with early stage startups in the Boston area, and I saw the exact same problem. The founders would be working very hard, but without the right access, they were constrained with how much they could scale. So at the time, my solution was start a blog about startups and innovation in the Boston area and give these startups a little bit of airtime. So I did a lot of that, but as a content creator, the new problem became, how do I consistently get high quality stories so that I can produce content? Like, I found that the stories that I got depended on my network, people that I knew, and ultimately I could not scale my blog as a creator. So I started thinking about the problem and how it's all about connecting the right people. So when Richard, my co-founder, and I met, it was a no-brainer putting our heads together to solve it.
Okay, that is a fascinating story and a really good one at that, because similar to this podcast, it's an attempt to highlight some of the great CX practices out there among smaller companies. So, Leia, one more question before we jump into the demo. What do you want to be known for with your product at EllisX? What type of experience are you aiming to deliver?
So we want to deliver a superb customer experience on all fronts. Because right now, when you look at how startups approach connecting to media or marketing, it's all very fragmented and very time consuming, very onerous on the end of the startup. And on the flip side, like if you are a media creator like yourself, it is very difficult to find the right companies on a consistent basis that would be coming to you. So we want to connect the right people in a seamless manner and ultimately help them create a new marketing channel for startups that helps them meet their customers where they are. And for creators, if you create unique content and tell unique stories, that helps you stand out and build a larger audience.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, Leia, would you mind showing us what EllisX looks like?
Absolutely. Okay, awesome. So this is the live product, and today we're going to be focusing on the startup side and showcase how we help startups. So the first thing that you will see when you sign up for EllisX would be this little page over here. The first thing you want to do is set up your profile as a founder or an employee of the company, the primary person that would be using EllisX. And you can set up your preferred marketing channels, whether it's media, whether it's public speaking, whether you want to judge competitions. And then we ask a couple of questions that have to do with you and your motivation about solving this specific problem. It's all about your story and giving the other side a glimpse of who you are as a person. So it's information that you can't find on LinkedIn or Twitter or Crunchbase. Um, and we ask that you also put in your expertise so people would know what you're good at, your bio, and your social channels. So once you're done with that, you do the same thing for your company. You have a company profile and a personal profile. The at a glance section for the company is the equivalent of your personal backstory section where you talk about what you're building, how far along you are, why you're building it, what the change you want to see in the world is. You can also add your social and press mention links if you have any in the past, because that helps the other side kind of understand how you are as a speaker if you're appearing on a podcast or an event, or just get a better general idea of what it is that you're building. And last but not least, you can invite as many team members as possible. We believe that when it comes to increasing brand awareness, the more people talk about the company, the better. And that's something that smart, forward thinking brands like Morning Brew and Fast are doing really well with Twitter. We're taking it to the next level of scaling that authenticity through earned media. So once all of that is set up and you have more than 70% of your profile complete, then it's time to move on to the fun stuff. And when you click opportunities, you will be able to see requests to speak at events, be on podcasts, be featured in newsletters and articles. All of these have been posted directly by event organizers who are looking for speakers, podcasters looking for guests, or writers looking for interview subjects. So they're already looking for somebody like you. All you need to do is click. You'll be able to see, for in this case, what the event is, like what subjects it would cover, what kind of speaker they're looking for. And if you fit the criteria, all you need to do is 2 clicks. Your profile will be sent to the event organizer. They will then review and say yes or no. Same thing happens when you look at media. So, for example, we have somebody from Business Insider who is looking to talk to a thought leader on diversity and inclusion. If that is you, 2 clicks, your profile is sent, and then they get to say yes or no. Um, you will not be able to send them follow-ups or pitch them, as you can see, because we're optimizing for very high relevance. If they have questions or they want to talk to you, they will contact you here in the conversations tab, and you can coordinate the details of um, your show or event or what have you, just how Jim and I did right here. All messages are encrypted, so there is maximum privacy, and your contact information will not be shared with anyone. Ultimately, our goal is to create a very symbiotic relationship between earned media and businesses.
Okay, this is really interesting. So, may I ask a question about the matching? Does the host of the event have to reach out to the company or user seeking to speak at an event, or is it the other way around? Or is it an algorithm that matches like-minded content producers with content hosts?
So right now, it's companies and specifically different team members within companies that reach out to relevant event hosts or podcasters. And again, you can do this as easily as 2 clicks or less than 5 seconds. And then the onus is on the other side to say yes or no, whether or not there is a fit. But with that said, in the future, our goal is to utilize all of this data that we're gathering from all the user interactions so that when you log in, you will not see everything that is posted. You will only see the stuff that's the most relevant to you. And then the event organizers will only see the people that are the most relevant to them for each and every event. Now, that is heavily reliant on machine learning and still being built, but that's the direction in which we're heading. So ultimately, when you book a speaking gig, it would be as simple as getting an Uber.
I love to see something like this out there. I was thinking just the other day, there's so many opportunities to write a newsletter, podcast, speak, other speaking event, and they're just difficult to find. You have to scour the web trying to find all these opportunities. It seems like this is curated in one place.
Exactly. We live in what I like to call the golden age of storytelling. There are so many talented storytellers like yourself who can tell interesting stories, but it's getting increasingly fragmented. Like, as a company, you can't know who are the best people that can help you tell your story. And as a storyteller, you don't know who the best companies are. So the best way is to bring them together with high relevance, low noise.
Incredible. So once you book the event, are there any next steps to show where it is and how to get it scheduled?
Yeah, that is coming. So right now, everything is coordinated right here in the conversations tab.
Okay.
As an event organizer, for example, you can message all of your potential speakers together in a pre-event group, or you can have individual conversations with them if there's something on a personal level to coordinate. You can automatically download their bio and picture from LSX, so you don't have to go back and forth via email. But with that said, the next step for us is both for events and for interviews like this one, instead of you having to go back and forth, we will automate the scheduling so that an invite automatically appears on your calendars at a time when you're both available.
Okay, that's fantastic. Can anyone sign up right now, or are you scaling different types of users?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, if you are a content creator who has a built in audience, you're more than welcome to sign up. And by that, I mean podcasters, writers, freelance journalists, basically anyone who is focused on storytelling, specifically with a bent on business and tech. On the startup side, we are an invite only product because we want to keep the quality of companies on LSX really high and build trust with creators this way. But also because we are very focused on making sure that people are at the right stage to tell their story and can get the most out of LSX when they sign up. Basically, we look at a couple of criteria to admit startups in, and that is whether you have a product in the market, whether you have users or paying customers, whether you're full time on the business, and if you've raised venture money or angel money. So the fundraising portion, like, may or may not be true. Like, if you have paying customers, that compensates for it. But the rest need to be true so that you can get access to LSX.
This is great. So if you are a podcaster or content creator out there, how would you sign up?
You would go to ellisx.com/media. All you need to do is click sign up now, and you will be taken to the well, I will not be taken to that page because I'm already signed up as a startup. But you will be taken to the sign up page, and it's a very quick 2-minute process that only requires your email and password.
Okay. And then similarly, if you are a startup seeking to be a speaker, how would you get an invite?
Mhm. Yeah, so you go to ellisx.com, and it's right there on our homepage. You click request to join, and there is a quick type form that we ask you to fill out. It's going to take less than a minute of your time, basically asking all the questions that I mentioned earlier, like who you are, what your company is, what you're building, and how far along you are. Then we'll review, and if you fit our criteria, we'll send you an invite. If not, we will tell you exactly what you need to achieve, what milestones you need to hit before you hit us up and are eligible for an invite.
This is great. Thank you so much, Leia, for taking the time to show this today. I love this product. So far, as a user myself, it's worked very well. It's seamless. It's how we booked this discussion and is a very clean interface. So I really hope other content creators come across this, I'll help promote it, because I really do think this is a very useful tool for finding speakers and guests for various different shows and speaking events.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
All right. So I will add the information in the box below. Thanks so much for listening. Tune back in again for additional CX stories on products. Have a good week. Bye-bye.